Hi everyone, this is Amir Tsarfati. Just wanted to share with you a thought after having watched last night's speech of Benjamin Netanyahu to the Israeli people. You know how much I love this prime minister, how much I support him, how much I believe that he's God sent. You probably know that politically I'm more on his side, the conservative side. And yet, he said something yesterday to the Israelis when he talked about the exit strategy from the coronavirus. And he said something that really shocked me. And then, after he said it, I realized something that I never ever thought about. So let me tell you what he said. So Netanyahu was talking about how the Israelis need to get used to the new reality of life after coronavirus. And we talked about how by June 14, Israel will be completely, if nothing major is going to happen and there's no new wave, then Israel will be allowing any gatherings of any number of people. In other words, besides wearing masks and keeping a social distance, everything will get back to normal. But then Prime Minister Netanyahu said something. And by the way, he is one of the leading people in example of how to fight the virus. And many world leaders were actually calling for advice from him. So are you ready for what he said? He said the following thing. Netanyahu said to the Israelis, we may get to the point where children will have to have sensors so we can track where they are and if they're okay and if they have symptoms and all of that. Now, he meant good. He meant we need to open everything and we might need to find other ways to track the virus rather than just locking people up in their houses. But what he just said is basically the pandemic will cause us to think differently, out of the box, and we may need to somehow and he never said implanting anything under your skin. He never said that. He never said, but he said we will have to somehow put sensors on children. And I was like, what? I was shocked a little bit. And then I thought to myself, wow, good leaders with good intentions are going to play right in the hand of the very thing they fight against. In other words, if they fight against the globalists, if they fight against the cabal, the one world government, yet now they come to the point where they need to defend their people and protect their countrymen. Look at the type of ideas that cross their mind in order to help their people staying safe. Putting sensors in our children. And I'm thinking to myself, and then right after that, when the TV was showing the preparation for the exit strategy of flying, going to the airport and flying, the head of the Israeli Airports Authority said the following thing. In the near future, passports will not be enough as travel document. And I'm like, what? somehow they will have to make or find a way to cause countries to allow you to visit them. And the only way to do that is by ways of making sure you don't have the virus. Passports can never show that you don't have the virus. And I'm thinking to myself, even a piece of paper cannot tell anyone I don't have the virus, because I could have contracted the virus in the time between the moment I got the paper and the moment I boarded the plane. What possibly could be something that the authorities will accept as a way to confirm that I don't have it? And I'm thinking to myself, for this virus, the whole world shut down. For this virus, economies, countries, everything. But as an exit strategy from the virus, passports won't be enough. Children won't be just walking freely without probably having sensors somehow attached to them. And we are getting closer and closer. And by the way, all of these are good people. The head of the Israeli Airport Authority and the Prime Minister of Israel, they're not part of the cabal. They're not part of the globalist agenda. They are trying to find practical ways of being able to move forward. What happened is the people who made the virus and released the virus and brainwashed the world that this is the worst thing on planet Earth managed to create such a panic that will not allow you now to continue your life without taking measures that to us, the believers, are unthinkable. But to the world, they're going to be the new norm. So again, when someone is offering all of those type of things, don't immediately think, oh, he's a globalist. No. The globalist and the agenda of tracking people, marking people, all of this starting now under the auspices of getting out of the corona thing. This is something new. We have to change our mind. And by the time we're going to be out of here, and the world will have to carry the mark of the beast, it's not going to be anything new to the world. It's going to be something they already went through with such things as COVID-19. So again, you're going to hear more world leaders, more experts, more, innocent people who want to help their countries getting ready to the exit strategy from the lockdown and quarantine. And they're going to offer and propose things that we've never heard before. And it will play right into the hands of the one world, new world order agenda. So I would be very careful in pointing a finger at world leaders and professionals. These are people who are trying to find solutions to a situation created by the New World Order, created by the one world government, created by the globalist cabal. Okay? But they're trying to protect their countries, to protect their people, and they will come up with ideas that until 3 months ago would be unthinkable. And now they are becoming, and they're about to become, the new norm. You'll see international traveling is not gonna be enough to carry a passport with you. Those days are over. And I'm just trying to tell you folks, don't get too shocked and frustrated. Things are going to change. And they will remind us what the world or they will maybe give us an idea of what the world is moving towards. So I just needed to share that thought with you because it just dawned on me that my own prime minister, whom I admire so much, and I'm sure there will be presidents and there will be prime ministers and there will be world leaders that will offer the same thing, not because they hate their people, because they love their people, but the situation, the reality, the panic, the uncertainty, the unknown is bringing them to the point that they need to find some new ideas and new, I guess, to become very creative in how they're going to let their people continue to conduct their life as free people, as people who can get out of their houses in their countries. So I'm suggesting that we all get used to it, and again, for the believers, remember the mark of the beast is not for us. We're not even going to have to decide if we need to take it or not. This is something that, unfortunately, if believers will have to deal with that, it's the saints of the tribulation, not us. But I can tell you, folks, we're watching. We're watching these things before our very eyes, becoming the new reality, the new norm. And do not be surprised if you're going to hear more things like that. And by the way, when Netanyahu suggested that, he was kind of almost proud of himself that this is a creative idea. How come I never thought about this? It's like, and then he said, look, we're going to have to become super creative in the way we do things in order to come out of this coronavirus thing. Super creative. Censors on children. Passport will not be enough to travel. Ladies and gentlemen, you better get used to it. That's going to be the new norm. And again, I don't blame him. I don't think he read the book of Revelation. I don't blame all of them. I'm just saying, within 3 months, we gladly or we willingly agreed to martial law. We willingly agreed to our economies shut down, our freedoms to be taken away from us, and we're going to willingly agree to be marked by our own governments for the sake of other governments to trust that we don't have this or we have that. And it's not going to be really much for us to do or to fight against, because this is not the mark of the beast. Let me make it clear. But this is going to be the preparation of the world. It's almost like somebody said it's a drill. It is a drill. It's a drill. It's the grand rehearsal, and that's why we're still here. But shortly after the rehearsal, the real show begins. And I'm not afraid, because I know that if I see Christmas lights in the middle of November, I know that Thanksgiving is around the corner. If I see the preparation for the Antichrist in the horizon, I know that the rapture is even closer. Thank you. Good night, and God bless you. Bye-bye.